Hello and welcome to Storytime at 9 once again. I can see that a lot of you are repeat viewers, but then there are some who have joined for the first time. So just to let you all know, every Saturday at 9 p.m. we are here live on this platform, whatever you are on, whether it is Facebook, YouTube or Twitter, with a storyteller who takes us to her country and through stories and tells us about her country and culture. So we've been doing it now. This is the 5th Saturday. 1 month, this is the last session of this month. And then, of course, we'll move into September. And we're very happy that today we have one of the finest storytellers from South America, from the country of Argentina, the very musical country of Argentina. We have Paula Martin. Paula was here in Bhubaneswar earlier in 2018, during the Hockey World Cup. Some of you might know there was a storytelling festival that happened in the parks of Bhubaneswar, in IG Park, in Buddha Park, and Kharavela Park, which was organized by us along with BMC and Odisha Tourism and BDA. And Paula had come for that. And the Argentinian team was also playing hockey. Argentina is, of course, famous for soccer, for football, but the hockey team is also very good, and they were here in the World Cup. So Paula is back, today to tell us stories. But just before that, I have a little request to you. I have been seeing that, all of you are so excited, and it's wonderful to see that. By the way, before I say anything else, I just remembered that Vaishnavi had left a comment that it's her birthday today. So very happy birthday to you, Vaishnavi. It also happens to be National Sports Day because it is the birthday of Dhyan Chand, Paula. Dhyan Chand is the legendary hockey player from India.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So who won many gold medals for India. So that's why today is the National Sports Day. So just a request to all of you, when Paula is telling stories, please don't comment and talk to each other. All the storytellers are excellent storytellers, some of the finest in the world, and they have wonderful stories to tell. Let us listen to the tales. And as those of you who've come here earlier know, so Paula is going to first introduce herself. She's going to tell the stories. And then what she's going to do is she's also going to take you through a presentation, where she's going to talk about her country. And then there'll be questions and answers. So I request you not to use the comments box. You can post comments there, either on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, but use the comments box not to, pass comments among yourselves, but to ask questions to Paula, so that it's interesting questions which Paula will be happy to answer for you. So before we move on to Paula, there's a little campaign that we are running now. We'll just run this promo of the campaign and then we'll start with Paula. So this is a campaign that we've been running where we are asking people to donate any spare smartphone that they have. You are able to listen to this, participate in the storytelling because you have a digital device at home, whether it's a laptop or a smartphone or a tablet, whatever. But imagine every second child in India does not have a smartphone. And in government schools also, they have online classes. So how do they learn? You have your online classes, you have the storytelling that Bakul is bringing to you. But what do those children do? So for that, we have this campaign where we are requesting you. So if you have a spare smartphone, please contact us, email us at contactbakul@gmail.com, the email ID given here, or you send us a message on this number 977 86 86 786. Please let us know and please send it to us. We would want to give the phone to children who don't have a phone. So thank you very much. Now it's over to Paula. Paula.
Hi, good evening. So good to see everybody here. I am very happy to have been invited by Sushit to perform here with you and tell you some stories about my country, which is Argentina. And then we will be able to talk and you will be able to tell me, what do you know about Argentina? We are very far away. I was very happy to visit Bhubaneswar in December 2018. I had the most wonderful time. We shared so many stories at different locations, at different parks, and it was a beautiful celebration of stories. I am very happy to have that. I cherish that in my heart, the time I spent there in Bhubaneswar. I hope to be back one day, Sushit. I want to go back whenever we are ready to travel again, because now the world is very, very different from what it was a year ago. So I want to start telling you some stories so that you know my country also through the stories. And as you will see, I like music a lot. And you will learn some words in Spanish, which is what I speak in my country. ¿Qué hacemos, compañerito, con tanta gente sentada? Si parecen zapallitos de la cosecha pasada. What am I doing, my friend, with all these people looking straight? They look like frozen pumpkins from last year's harvest. Las palomitas del campo nacieron para volar. Mi corazón nació libre y alegre para cantar, y alegre para contar. Country dogs were born to fly, flowers to bloom out on spring. My heart was born free and happy to tell and sing, and happy to tell and sing. So I am going to tell you a story that comes from the north part of Argentina, and I am going to show you later in the map where this story comes from. And this story is called Pedro and the Fox. Pedro was a little boy who lived up in the mountain with his mother, with his dog, and with his sheep. Every morning, Pedro would go with his mother, with his dog, and with his sheep to another place in the mountain where the sheep could run and could eat some fresh grass. But one day, Pedro's mother said, Pedrito, hijito mío, Pedrito, my dear son, look at you. You are so grown up now. What do you say if you stay here by yourself just a little bit so that I can go home to wash and to prepare some food? What do you say, Pedrito? Would you stay here by yourself? Up at the mountain by myself? No, Mom, I am going to be scared all by myself up in the mountain. But Pedrito, look at you. You are so grown up now. But if you get scared, you can play your instruments and all the fear will go away. Yes, Mom, but if I get hungry, look, Pedrito, I brought you a potato for you to eat if you are hungry. What do you say, Pedrito? Would you stay? What do you think Pedrito said? He thought for a while, and he thought for one thing he was going to be scared up at the mountain all by himself. But then he remembered that he liked to be told that he was grown up. So he thought a little bit more and said, okay, Mom, I'm going to stay. Good, Pedrito, good for you. You're very brave. One thing, you have to be very careful with the fox. He's going to try to eat your sheep. So you have to be smarter than him, Pedrito. Okay? Do you know that? Okay, Mom. So Pedrito's mother left down the mountain, and Pedrito stayed up at the mountain all by himself. And he was so scared that he didn't remember what was it that he had to do until he saw, oh yes, the instruments. So he saw that he had some instruments, and he picked up this one that is called sikus and started to play. I'm still scared. I'm still scared. It didn't work. It didn't work. So he picked up another instrument here. It's nice, but I'm still scared. I'm still scared. It didn't work. It didn't work. So he kept on picking up instruments. I like it, but I'm still scared. I'm still scared. So he picked up this instrument here that is called charango, and he started to try to sing a song. I'm a little kosher boy, and I'm here all alone. My mom had to stay at home. With my flute I play my song. If the folks will come to visit, I know I have to be tricky. I'm a little kosher boy and I'm here all alone. I'm a little kosher boy and I'm here all alone. I'm a little kosher boy and I'm here all alone. And like this, singing and dancing, all the fears went away. But someone heard the music. You know who? Yes, the fox. And the fox got there very fast saying, bravo, bravo, Pedrito, qué bien, that was so good. Would you like to come and play a serenade for my girlfriend? She lives down at the mountain, and I will be happy to stay here and take care of your sheep. Go away, Zorro. Go away, Fox. My mother told me you're gonna try to eat my sheep. Go away. No, 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 Pedrito. No, no, no. Not at all. I don't eat sheep. Ugh, sheep is ugh. I don't like sheep at all. You don't like sheep. Would you eat a potato like this one that my mother got for me? Yeah, I think I could have a potato, no problem. Okay, folks, let's make a deal. You're going to close your eyes like this. You're going to open your mouth like this. And I am going to give you this potato. But you have to eat it all at once. If you can eat it all at once, Then I'll go and I play a serenade for your girlfriend. What do you say, Zorro? Do we have a deal? Hmm, yeah, yeah, we have a deal. So Zorro closed his eyes really tight. He opened his mouth really big. Ah! And Pedro, did he give him the potato? You are right. He didn't. He picked up a stone that was the size of the potato. And since the fox was with his mouth wide open, Pedro put the stone inside the mouth, and the fox had to follow all at once. Ooh, oh, you, oh, you, oh, oh, that potato felt like a stone. And like this, holding his belly, he started running down the mountain. And at the same time, Pedro's mother was returning, and she said, Pedrito, my dear child, are you okay? I saw the fox run out away from here. Did he do anything to you or to our sheep? No, mother. I've been brave. Yeah, I'm the best. When I got scared, I played the instruments, and all the fears went away. And I've been much smarter than Zorro, than the fox. And he's never coming back to bother us. So they say that that's exactly what happened. Zorro never came back to bother Pedrito and his mother and his sheep. And if one day you travel to Argentina and if you go to Humahuaca, where Pedro lives, they are going to tell you that Pedro was the youngest and bravest shepherd that ever existed. And that was the story of Pedro and the fox. So I am going to continue with another story. And in my country, we have a lot of what we call fool stories, which are stories about uh, people that forget things or that do foolish things. And this story is about a boy that had really, really, really very, very bad memory. He had such bad memory that sometimes he couldn't remember how old he was. He had such bad memory that sometimes he couldn't remember when was his birthday. Not like you, that I read on the chat that many of you are having a happy birthday today. Thank you for coming and celebrating your birthday with these stories from Argentina. Thank you. Okay, this boy, he had such bad memory that whenever his mother asked him to run some errands, he had to repeat to himself one time after the other what he had to go and get, because if not, he would forget. So one day, the mother said, listen, I want you to go and get me 5 kilos of corn. But listen, no more than 5 kilos of corn. If not, you bring 20 kilos of corn and we are going to have to eat corn for breakfast, for dinner, for the whole week. So no more than 5 kilos of corn. So he started repeating, no more than 5 kilos of corn. No more than 5 kilos of corn. No more than 5 kilos of corn. And saying this, he started walking towards the shop where they sold the corn, all the time repeating, No more than 5 kilos of corn. No more than 5 kilos of corn. But he stopped on the way to see that they were two men that were sowing corn, exactly corn. And he stopped to look at them work. But all the time he was repeating, no more than 5 kilos of corn, no more than 5 kilos of corn. So those two men thought that he was cursing them so that they wouldn't be able to harvest any more than 5 kilos of corn. So they got really angry. What are you saying? That you don't want us to have any more than 5 kilos of corn? No, that's not what I am saying. So stop saying that then. Okay, but what is it that I have to say then? Well, you have to say, let's hope it all comes out. Okay, let's hope it all comes out. Let's hope it all comes out. Let's hope it all comes out. But as he was walking and repeating this, again he got distracted. On another side of the road, there were two men that were working really fast. They wanted to unload some barrels that were on a carriage because those barrels were broken and they were leaking what they had inside, that was wine, and they were losing all their wine. So the boy watched them walk so fast, running, coming and going, and all the time he was repeating, let's hope it all comes out. Let's hope it all comes out. Let's hope it all comes out. What are you saying? You want us to lose all our wine here? That's what you're saying? No. That's not what I want to say. Okay, then. Don't say that. Well, what is it that I have to say then? Well, you have to say, let's hope it never comes out. Okay. Let's hope it never comes out. Let's hope it never comes out. Let's hope it never comes out. And as he was walking, he saw at the end of the road that there was a man pulling and pulling and pulling, trying to get some animals that had fallen into a mud puddle. And he was able to take one out, but the other one was so deep inside the mud puddle that only his ears were visible, and the man was pushing with all his might, and the boy watched him work and push so hard, but all the time he was repeating, let's hope it never comes out. Let's hope it never comes out. Let's hope it never comes out. That man got so angry. What are you saying? You don't want my animal to survive? Is that what you're saying? No, I don't mean that. Not at all. Okay, then don't say that. Well, what is it that I have to say then? Well, you can say, as one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. Okay. As one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. As one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. As one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. And saying this, he arrived at the shop where they were selling. Can you believe that it so happened to be that the man that was selling the corn was an one-eyed person? And the boy didn't even say good morning or anything. He just started saying, as one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. As one came out, let's hope the other one comes out too. Eh? What are you saying? You mean that you want my other eye to come out as well? That's what you're saying? That's so uneducated. That's so bad what you're saying to me. Here, take it. It's for you. And he threw at him first thing that he could grab, that it was, yes, you guessed right, a bag with 5 kilos of corn. And since he said, "Here, take this," the boy picked up the bag and went home repeating, "Here, take this. Here, take this. Here, take this." And that's exactly what he said to his mother when he gave the bag with the 5 kilos of corn. And of course, this story is called 5 kilos of corn. What other name could it have? Okay, so let's continue with another story. In my country, we drink mate, which is sort of like a tea. And we drink it in my country and also in Paraguay and also in Brazil and also in Uruguay. In Uruguay, you will see people all day going from here to there with their mate with them. And mate has a story. Where mate came from. This is what I am going to tell you now. The moon, just see, it's up on the sky. And the moon sometimes, she hears stories. She hears stories from the rain. The rain tells the moon all sorts of wonderful things that happen here in this world. Things like the flowers have colors and have perfume. The birds sing beautiful music. You can see the water. Things that we give for granted because we have them here every day, but for the moon, up there, all alone, up in the sky. I mean, these were fascinating things that she wanted to see by herself. So one day, she asked for permission to Pa, which is the creator, the Lord of the skies. And she said, "Please, please, 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 let me go down there where people live because I want to see those wonderful things that rain always tells me about the flowers and the birds and the animals and the people and the music and the ocean, all those wonderful things. I want to see them with my own eyes." And she insisted so much that finally Tupa let her come down here. But he warned her, "You are going to have one day to go down to earth. But when you go down on earth, you will lose all your powers. And animals will be able to see you. But the people, they won't be able to see you at all." So the moon asked rain to help her. She climbed down on a rainbow and moon came down to earth for one day. It was so fascinating. The smell of flowers. They were just incredible. The colors, the birds singing and flying on the sky. And then she was exploring and visiting and smelling the earth and washing her feet in the water that felt so good. And she got so enthusiastic that she lost track of time and she forgot everything that Tupa had warned her about. So very soon, very close by, there was a jaguarete. And a jaguarete It's sort of like a small tiger, like a small, a small tiger would be. A big wild cat, but a small tiger, And this jaguarete was looking at the moon, and it was like a very easy prey. And it was getting very close and about to jump and eat the moon, have the moon for breakfast. But close by, there was a man passing by. He noticed the jaguarete was about to jump on top of something, but he couldn't see who was in danger. Who was in danger because he couldn't see the moon. The moon could not be seen by people, only by animals. So Jaguarete was getting closer and closer and closer, and at one point it went, and the man jumped and got in between and was able to chase the Jaguarete away. And the moon, she didn't know what was happening. She was so distracted with everything that was happening around. But then she saw the man, and the man knew he saved someone, but didn't know who it was. So the moon wanted to give a present to that man that saved her life. So she followed him. She followed him to his house. And when he arrived to his house, it was a very, very humble house. And he saw that his wife and his children had very little food to eat, and that everything was very, very poor. So the moon cried, and there was a silver tear that she dropped in the earth right next to that house's window. That night, that man had a very, very strange dream. He dreamed that the moon was talking to him, and that the moon said, "Thank you for saving my life. I left a present for you right next to your window. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you're going to see a new plant that was not there before. Take some leaves. Take some leaves and dry them out on the sun. And then, after you dry them on the sun, you can put them into a gourd and put a straw and put some water and sip. And that will make your heart feel better. And share this with your family and with your neighbors and with your friends, and share it so that you remember that you are all one, that you are all a community, that you are all a whole family." When that man woke up, he told his family, "I had such a vivid dream, But he went outside and there was that new plant. So he did exactly like the moon told him. He dried the leaves, he put them inside a gourd, he put a straw, he put some hot water, he sipped. And his heart was full. And then he invited his neighbors, his family, and he passed it around. And they shared the mate for the first time. And the moon told him, "This is a present for you, for your children, for your children's children, and for your whole community." So that man not only gave us mate, and not only saved Moon's life, he gave us the possibility of us to have mate, but also the possibility of us to have the moon up in the sky. So I am going to sing a final song for us to say goodbye from the stories, because we will continue talking. Of course, there's much more to say about our encounter today. And it's a song about the moon. Ya la luna baja en camisón a bañarse en un charquito con jabón. Ya la luna en punta de pie, en una tacita china tomate. Quien la pesque con una cañita de bambú, se la lleva a su pie. Ya la luna vino y le dio por comer con 2 palitos de largo. Ya la luna viaja desde allá y por un charquito quito nadará. Quien la pesque con una cañita de bambú, se la lleva a su pie. That was the stories from my dear country. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you come and visit us one day.
Thank you so much, Paula. It was lovely, listening to your songs and the story, very musical stories. There are a lot of questions that children have been coming up with. But before that, before we go to the question and answer session, as I said, Paula will tell us a little more about her country and about her culture. So if you still have more questions, please ask in the comments box. And please listen to Paula first. Tell us about her country, and then we'll go to questions and answers. And just to tell you again, there's a feedback form, which is there wherever you are logging in from. There's a feedback form in the description. Please do not forget to give your feedback at the end of the session. Paula, over to you for the presentation.
Okay, great. Share my screen. Okay, so let's see. Can you see everything here? So you are at Bakul Library, right? Okay, from Bakul Library, let me show you where we are going to go. From Bakul Library, we are going to my house. Let's see. And we go all around the world, and that is my house. This is my home here in Buenos Aires. Today, it's a rainy day, and I am in the city of Buenos Aires, which is a very, very, very large city, as you can see. This city, Buenos Aires, it's very, very populated. It has many, many different cultures. And most of the population of Argentina is around this area, because this is a very large country. But most people live in these cities. This is the Obelisco, and this is the government house. And in Argentina, we have tango. And there is a neighborhood here in Buenos Aires that is called Caminito, that is very popular for tango and tango dancers. So here it's also where the Boca Juniors Stadium is. We have all kinds of climates. We have all kinds of landscapes. We have beaches. This is a place called Mar del Plata, which it's a big city, but also has beaches. And this is me howling at the moon in Mar del Plata. Well, you see, I like the moon. I told you moon stories. Okay, so from there, we are going to go to the waterfalls, which was one of the clues that Bakul Foundation put for you to guess my country. Cataratas del Iguazú. In Argentina, it's a very, very large country. It's right after India. I think India is 7th in the world and Argentina is the 8th. We have all types of climate. Like here is like tropical climate, and here I am at the waterfall with my children. And then let me show you this place, which is very strange here, which is called Los Esteros de Liberá. And you will find some very, very different type of animals here. Like this one, that is a carpincho. Well, this one is a jaguarete. I'm sorry, the jaguarete, the jacare. And they are different type of birds there too. Okay, and let me show you some part of the north. Listen, I'm going to show you where Pedrito comes from. Pedrito, from the first story, comes from a place like this. Up in the mountains, in the Andes, where they have this type of landscape. And this is my daughter with a little llama. Look, this is a place all made of salt. So, and then let me go over the Andes Mountains. And here is the Aconcagua, which is the highest after the Himalayas. This is the tallest mountain on earth after the Himalayas. And is the tallest, of course, this is me with my husband in Mendoza, where the Aconcagua is. And let me show you Bariloche, which is a place where people go for skiing. And it's also very nice. And it's a place where you have snow and lakes and mountains. And this is Patagonia, which is the south of Argentina, all this area here. And in this area, there is lots of landscape with no people living there. And here in Peninsula Valdez, you can come and see the whales. They are so beautiful. The whales, and they are very big. And we have some penguins, and this is me with the penguins. And we have glaciers. And this is so you can see how many different landscapes you can see, glaciers like this one. And this is me with one of my daughters at the glaciers. Okay, and then I am going to show you this place, which is Ushuaia in Tierra del Fuego, which is the city that is at the most southern point of the whole earth. It's called the city at the end of the world. This is the city at the end of the world. And here is the lighthouse at the end of the world, that if you like to read, there's a novel by Julio Verne that is called The Lighthouse at the End of the World, and it's about a lighthouse right here. And here you have forest. And see, in this sign here, it says that from here to Alaska, which is in the north part of North America, there are 17,848 kilometers. That's how big it is. Okay, so I wanted to show you A few things about Argentina. This is how you see it in the map. This is our flag that, as you can see, it has the colors of the sky and the sun in the middle so that you can remember the colors. And probably today is sports day. So I put some sports figures because they are like the most famous ones from Argentina, like Messi. If you like football, you will know him. Or Maradona, or Ginobili that plays basketball. These are some famous writers. This is Borges and Cortázar from Argentina. These are some famous figures from today, like the Pope, Francisco, or the Queen of Holland, Maxima. They are from Argentina also. These are some famous politicians like Che Guevara, Evita, and Perón. This is the mate that I was showing you, telling you about. These are some empanadas, which is a typical meal from Argentina. And here is humita, which is made of corn, and locro, which is like a stew, and tamales. And this is delicious. This is called, it's a jam made out of milk and sugar, and it's so delicious. It's called dulce de leche. And these are some famous musicians. Charlie Garcia, he plays rock. Mercedes Sosa, she sings folk music. And Santa Olalla, he won an Oscar for the music. And this is the tango, of course, Gardel and the tango dancer. And these ones here are my parents dancing the tango. And since we are here with my parents, let me introduce my family. I am the fourth daughter. These are my older sisters. This is me. And then I had a brother. So we are four sisters and one brother. And this is my family now, my husband, my children, and their partners. And this is my granddaughter, Renata, with Faustina. Renata and Faustina. Poor Faustina, right? Okay, that's the end of the presentation. So.
Thank you, Paula. That was lovely. I mean, of course, Renata and Faustina were the cutest. But then what a presentation about your country. I'm sure all the children must be after the parents now to take them to Argentina. I think Argentina tourism is going to benefit a lot. We are all going there. So there are a lot of questions that have come in. I'll begin with Lakshmi Priya's question. What is the time now in Argentina?
Okay, right now it's 1:20 in the afternoon, p.m., noon time.
Okay.
We are 8.5 hours difference from India.
So Keasha, Anvesha, and Sony, all of them have the same question. Could you tell us a little the names of the instruments you played? So maybe you could play each of them a little and also give the name of the instrument.
Okay, this one is called sikus, and it's made with it's a bamboo canes. Okay, just canes. And I played. This is called palo de lluvia, rain stick. And this is called a thunder drum. Okay. This one here is called a caja, which is a drum. And it has two different sounds like this. And also it has this string here that you can press, and then it sounds like this. With a string, it has a different sound. And then this one here, which is called ronroco. It's charango but it's a little bigger, so it's called a ronroco. Okay, those are the instruments I play. I also play some instruments that are not from my country. Like this one is from Mexico, the jaguar. I was there last year and I got it. But I use it for the jaguarete. And then this one is the one that made the sound of the sheep. And this one is called a metallophone. And this one here is called a kalimba. It's an African instrument. And this one here is called udu. Okay, those are the instruments that I play.
Wow, quite a few, quite a few.
Yes.
You talked about a lot of things. Pranshu is asking, but what is, out of all of them, what is Argentina most famous for?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, out of all the things that you talked about, what is Argentina most famous for?
Well, when I travel, I think football, Messi. Everybody asks me that. No matter where I am, they ask, "Oh, Argentina, Messi," they say, or Maradona. So I think football is the most famous thing.
So Suchitra is asking, which is your favorite sport? Is it football as well?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And we have my team is River. The other one, which are like the classic rival, is Boca. River Boca is like a very famous confronting teams. Like one of the 5 most famous classics, like Barcelona and Real Madrid or Manchester, and I don't know the other one in England. Like there are 5 famous classics.
And Argentina and Brazil in football would be like India and Pakistan in cricket?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Adyesha and Vaishnavi were asking, the first song that you began with, is that your national anthem?
No. That type of music, it comes from the mountains, from the Andes that I show you. And it's a song that you play with your voice going up and down, so that if you are up in the mountain and another person is way away from you, with your voice going up and down, you can hear each other. So it's and they go up and down the mountains, hundreds of persons like doing this, and they say one verse and the other one repeats. It's very interesting. It's from the north of Argentina.
So Dilip and Sai Shrita asking, do you like to dance also along with your singing? I mean, we saw you singing, but do you like to dance a lot also?
Yes, I love dancing. Yeah, very much so.
And what do you dance? The tango?
Tango, I only could dance with my father, because it's all about how the man tells you what movements to do. So you really need to practice a lot. It's not like you can dance with anybody, The moves are different because the couple makes it different. So I used to dance with my father. And I like dancing folk a lot, like chacarera and samba. Folk dances are very nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Gargi is asking if there's a book from India that you really like. Have you read any Indian books?
Yes. I like the Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. I really like that. I like the stories, the old stories of the Pachatantra and the Mahabharata and all those. I really like those typical folk. I like the folk tales. I forgot to tell you, now that you're asking about the books, That the stories that I told are in my book here, which is also at the Bakul library. You got it. So if the kids want to, after the COVID crisis is over, they want to come and read the stories, they can go over to the library to see them.
Yeah, I just want to repeat. So this book is there at the library. I couldn't get it, so someone must have been reading it recently and so kept it on the side. But the Panchamama Tales by Paula is there at the library, and you can check it out.
Yeah.
There is Anvesha is asking about your favorite author, not just Indian, in general. Your favorite book.
My favorite book. I really like this German author, Michael Ende. I really like, who has The Never-Ending Story and Momo. I really like that author. From Argentina, I really like an author that is called Liliana Bodoc, and I really love her stories. There are many, many. It depends on the time or the day, but there are many that I enjoy.
So Ipsita is asking to tell us about some famous festivals of Argentina.
Okay, festivals like they have for example, in the areas where they make the wine, they have, when they harvest the grapes, they have a big celebration there. That is for that. Then we have Carnival in February. Then we have, like, each province of Argentina has a separate celebration. And and also Carnival is celebrated very different in the northwest of Argentina or in the northeast. They celebrate it. In the northeast, it's sort of like Brazil with costumes and drumming. And in the northwest, it's always this type of instruments, which are instruments from the Andes. And then they are like, each town has the celebration of the empanada or the celebration of the harvesting. Many, many of those.
Right. Minati and Pooja are asking about books that you've written. You've already showed them the Panchamama Tales.
Yes.
But are there other books that you've written that you would like to talk about?
I have some stories compilated, like I have some books. Another book from this collection, I made the translation with stories from Cuba, which is this one here. And then I have some stories like in collections by other people. But this is the only one that I have all by myself. Yeah.
I think Jayanti is asking, how long have you been a storyteller? And if you have done anything else before becoming a storyteller?
Yes, I was a teacher, and I still teach storytelling at a school, but I studied to be a teacher. I became a storyteller when I was 35 years old, and now I am 58, so you can make the numbers, how many years that is. But it's 23 years of being a storyteller. Yeah.
So Justina is asking, what is your favorite food from India?
I really love dal, and chapatis and dal. That's and curries, all the curries. I really love the spices, and I love chai with the cardamom and the cinnamon and all those spices. I really love that.
And what is the best thing you liked in Orissa?
I like the temples were beautiful, were amazing. And the people, I thought they were just so warm, so friendly. The children were so educated and so eager to listen to the stories. I really love that.
So Asmi is asking, you showed many places, but which are the top 3 places to visit in Argentina? I can see that she's already convinced her parents to
to come
to Argentina. So top 3 places.
It depends of what you like, what type of tourism that you like. If you come to Buenos Aires, it's a big city, and you get a lot of culture and theaters and bookstores. Like there's a street called Corrientes where you have bookstores open 24 hours a day, and there are lots of theaters and concerts whenever they were, because right now everything is closed, but in normal times. That is if you like big cities, but if you like sort of like a nature type of travel, then you can go to the north. The Northwest has hiking and has culture, because it has all that ethnic particularities. And then if you like the jungle, you should go to the waterfalls. The waterfalls are the most incredible waterfalls in the whole world. And it's just beautiful. And you see all these types of wildlife that is so amazing. That would be very nice. And also, to me, the glaciers is something that is so unique. So unique. It's like a mountain, huge mountains of ice, and then some ice drops, and you hear this sound that is like a huge thunder, and it's so beautiful.
So I think Rajbir was asking the name of the most famous waterfall. That's the Iguazu that you were talking about, right?
Yes.
But are there also other famous waterfalls?
Not in Argentina. You have the, you have the Niagara.
It's interesting you talked about bookstores. Now, I don't know if all of you have seen, but that was one of the questions we had asked. You know, Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, is actually the city known as the city of bookstores, because for every 4,000 people, they have a bookstore, including the Etano?
El Ateneo. El Ateneo.
Yeah. The Grand Splendid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jeevan Sini has an interesting question, whether there's a Bakul library there. And I would like to tell her that I wish there was a Bakul library there so that I could get to travel to Argentina. But there is no Bakul library. But they have lots of libraries. Where do you tell stories there? Maybe that is the question. So, okay. Paula, would you like to say, where do you tell stories there in Argentina?
I tell mostly at schools, but sometimes at libraries, or if it is for adults. You know that in Argentina, it's very popular to tell stories to adults, not only to kids, not only to children, but you can be at a cafe, for example, or a restaurant and perform and be a performer for stories for adult audiences as well. And but mostly at schools. And I would love to have Bakul library here, because it has that type of, I really like Bakul as being a very friendly, usable library where you can go and reach for the books and be there, have those beautiful corners to sit and read. Sometimes libraries have like, maybe they don't have a corner for children, or the books are like, you have to go, the librarians don't let you get so close to the books. But this is changing now, and libraries are becoming more user friendly. So
thank you for all the nice kind words about Bakul. Kushraj and Tanya are asking, they seem to be fixed on the horror movie It. Yeah. Have you seen the Argentinian horror movie It? Looks like I have to see it. It seems popular.
I don't think it's Argentinian.
It's not?
I don't think so. No, I think it's from United States. If I am, but no, I don't like that type of horror movies. I get scared. I cannot sleep after that, so I don't watch it.
Dorothy is asking, when did Argentina get independence?
The 1816 was our independence.
And that was from Spain, right?
Spain, yes. On 1810, it was we celebrate our country's day because it's when the people decided to form a country. They say, we don't want to be a part of Spain any longer. So that was in 1810. But then the Constitution and the independence, the Declaration of Independence came in 1816.
I see that there are many more questions that many of you have, but unfortunately, we won't have time to take more questions. It can go on and on. I know you all are enjoying it. But just before we sign off, let me tell you, as I said, of course, when the library reopens, when things get better, you can come down to the Bakul Library, which is in Bhubaneswar, in Satyanagar, and you can check out Paula's book, Panchamama Tales. You can also find other books, which are stories from Latin America, like this, Latin American folk tales. There's another small book little book of Latin American folk tales. And this, along with a lot of other individual tales. So there's a good collection of Latin American tales, and we'll try and collect, with Paula's help, we'll try and get more wonderful stories. But of course, when we read the stories, we'll have the rich imagination that, Paula brings us from Argentina, but we will miss her music. So, but then we can't have, Paula always. But, and Paula, I'll tell you another thing. Paula has also put us in touch with other wonderful storytellers from Brazil, from Paraguay, from other countries of South America. And also she'll be connecting us with other storytellers. I'm sure all of you loved the session today. As I said, there's a feedback form there in the wherever you are on the platform that you are seeing it on. Please give us your feedback. That is our way of reaching out to you. And then if you enjoyed this session, please like, comment, share, tell all your friends to come back. Now, there's a little clue about the next session. Now, the next session, we'll have the question here. The storyteller next Saturday is from a country which is famous for the big 5 wild animals. The lion is there, the leopard is there, the elephant is there, the buffalo is there, and the rhinoceros is there. But the tiger is not there. Okay? This country, which we will feature in Storytime at 9 next Saturday, has the lion, the leopard, the elephant, the buffalo, and the rhinoceros, but it does not have the tiger. So obviously it's not India. So guess the country and keep following us. And just before we end, of course, Paula, you'd like to say something to the audience?
Well, I am really happy that you joined us today and that you were here to share some stories. And I hope that you keep on reading, because we can always travel, even though we have this situation with the COVID and all that. We can always travel through books and imagination and reading. So I am very thankful to Sushit and to Bakul Foundation for this invitation. Really happy to see you again. It was like traveling to India again. So a big hug and a big kiss to all.
Thank you, Paula. And for those of you, we'll just end with a very short 1-minute film on Bakul, which was featured on the Better India. Some people were asking about Bakul, so we'll just have this very short film.
In education, that we are trying to promote reading. As statistics say, if 50% children in grade 5 cannot read the textbook of grade 2, then what is really happening? That's because the basic skills of reading and writing is not there. So we thought that if we have to change this cynicism, then we need to demonstrate what is possible with small contributions. So that is the idea basically that Bakul is trying to demonstrate, what is possible entirely with volunteerism, entirely with small little contributions. We asked people to contribute books to set up a public library in Bhubaneswar, and a children's library was set up in Bhubaneswar, and now that children's library has become a general library, a public library with more than 20,000 books. So that is one of the major things. Another major area of intervention is environment. a lot of environmental education, but through films and through creative methods. So we have a traveling film festival on environment. We go to schools, colleges, apartments and screen films on environment, primarily on climate change and on issues of water and sanitation, two issues that we're working in. And at the libraries also, we conduct a lot of workshops on creativity. You know, we all want the world to be a better place, and we have our own ideas of how it can be better. The thing is, can we all start in some small way towards addressing that? Can we say that in some small way, this world is the way I want it to be because I have done something about it?
Thank you very much for watching this short little film. As you saw in the film, all that you see happening, including this story time at 9, is because of people volunteering. They're not getting paid for anything. So you have people like me, people like Paula, wonderful storytellers coming, performing for you. And then there are a lot of volunteers who are working backstage to make this possible. As you saw, the libraries are also set up entirely with book donations by books, of books by people like you. So that's the story of Bakul. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again next Saturday. Paula, anything you want to say? Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.